Hi, thanks for joining me for this week's Start to Finish Sunday video. Today I'm going to make a birthday tag using this adorable little fox stamp. Now this is one of the single stamps. The promotion for these has been extended, so there's still time to get these really cute, there's a whole bunch of different cute and completely exclusive single stamps you can't get any other way. So today we're going to be using this adorable little fox. And for my color combination, I'm actually using one of my all-time favorites, which is yellow and gray and turquoise or aqua. So I'm using Whisper White, Pool Party, Daffodil Delight, and this pattern paper is from the I believe it's called Sunshine and Sprinkles, which is in the spring catalog, and also Basic Gray, and then we're bringing in sort of a lighter shade of gray. This is the Sahara Sand color. So this is going to be my color palette. And with the fox stamp, I'm actually going to be doing some paper piecing, meaning I'm going to stamp him several times on different papers and then piece them all back together to create the overall stamped image. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I'm starting with is a piece of Whisper White. This measures 3.5 by 5, and this is going to be the base of our tag. So the first thing that I want to do, I'm centering this on my grid paper so that I can find where the center is. So it's going to be in the center of this box right here. It's about right there. So I'll just cut straight up about where the center is. Actually, I'm going to use my larger scissors for this. And then I'll come in from the corner and cut to that center cut. And then I'll come in from the other corner and cut to that same spot. Okay, and there I have the bottom of my tag shape, and I'm going to work on the top part up here. So to create the top of my tag, I'm using one of the ovals from the Oval Framelits collection, and I just want to, this framelit is about the same width as my tag. I just want to get this kind of centered and then flush up at the top here. I'm just going to take my pencil and lightly trace around that oval shape. Then I'm just going to take my scissors and carefully cut on this line. And here you can see I have this really pretty rounded shape and then the banner ends. So my tag is all ready to embellish. I'm going to create a little bit of layering to go down the center of my tag. So I've got this Daffodil Delight designer paper and a strip of Basic Gray. This measures 2 inches wide and this measures 2 1/8. So it's just going to give me a very slight border of the gray on both sides. And I'll just adhere these together, making sure that there's an equal border on each side of the designer paper. Okay. And this is going to get layered down the center of my tag. So let's see where that is. I'm using my grid mat to help me line this up. And then all I need to do is just trim around the top and bottom edges of my tag. So you can see I've stamped my fox 3 times, and I used Basic Gray ink for all of my stamping. The paper piercing I'm going to do on top of this image here on the Sahara Sand. What I'm going to do is cut out just his belly here out of the Pool Party designer paper and just his face here out of the Whisper White. And then I'm going to use just regular snail adhesive to glue them on top of the Sahara Sand fox. And then I'm going to cut out the whole thing and use that on my tag. So here's all my pieces ready for paper piecing. And a couple tips for when you're doing this. When you're cutting out your images, try to keep your scissors going straight up and down and turn the paper around. It's really hard to show on camera, otherwise I would have shown you how to do it. But keep your scissors stationary and turn the paper. That's one really good tip. And another tip to make everything look like you cut it out perfectly is to take the marker that coordinates with whatever ink you use and use the brush tip. And once you've finished cutting, just carefully go all around the outside, just brushing your marker over the very edge of your paper. And that is going to look like your cutting was absolutely perfect. So if you didn't get exactly on the line, this will straighten that up for you. Okay, and now I'm just going to take my regular adhesive and I'm going to apply it pretty liberally. If you wanted to use, you know, your Tombow Mono multi-glue for this, you can certainly use a liquid adhesive, but your snail is going to work just fine. And just try to get that lined up. Again, apply your adhesive fairly liberally. You don't want the little edges to peel up on you. Just get that lined up the best that you can. Okay. And so there is my little paper pieced fox, and now I'm just going to go all around the outside and cut him out. I'm not going to worry about the speech bubble because I'm not going to use that right now. So here you can see my little paper pieced fox is all set to go. But we do have a couple other things to do before we put the tag together. So first of all, I have a circle that I cut out of Pool Party cardstock. And I'm going to just run this through my Big Shot with the Chevrons embossing folder real quick, just to add some texture to this. So now I have this great texture on my Pool Party circle. So now I want to create the little speech bubble portion of the fox. Now you can see here the stamp's upside down. So when you stamp it, the speech bubble is coming out from the fox's mouth this way. And I actually want it to be over here. So what I'm going to do, I have just a scrap of Whisper White. And I'm going to use my basic gray marker because the sentiment that comes on the stamp is super cute. It says, "Hello, Foxy," which is adorable, but I want this to be a birthday tag. So I'm using my marker to just color only the speech bubble portion, and I'll stamp that down. Okay, and then because I don't want it coming out on the right, I want it coming placed over to the left of the fox. All I need to do is just flip it upside down, and then I'll place my fox kind of like that, you know, and there's his little speech bubble on the other side of him. The sentiment that I'm using is from this stamp set called Wishes Your Way. This is from the spring catalog, and it's meant to coordinate with the pinwheel die, but I'm using this small happy birthday sentiment because it will fit in that speech bubble perfectly, and I really like the font. I'm leaving my fox here for just a minute so that I know how to place my sentiment. I went ahead and stamped it on my Stamp-A-Majig imaging sheet so that I can place the birthday. So rather than, you know, placing it horizontally like this, I can place it vertically, one word on top of the other. So I'm going to get birthday lined up pretty much right where I want it. And I can move the fox and place my imaging tool down. I'm going to use my marker again to color just the word birthday. And I'll remove my imaging tool and stamp this down. Okay. And then make sure that you clean your stamp before, so you don't get any of that second word showing up. And I'll place my imaging tool again to get that word happy just where I want it to be. And replace my Stamp-A-Majig. Then same thing again, take my marker and color only the word happy. And there I have my little customized sentiment. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut out around the speech bubble. All right, now that I have all my pieces ready, I can go ahead and put my tag together. The circle is gonna go on there kind of like that, overlapping the edge a little bit. And then the fox is gonna go just about right there. So I'm going to be applying the fox with dimensional adhesive. And this one on the bottom here, I'm not going to take off the backing sheet yet because that is going to overlap the circle a little bit. So I just want to get placement exactly right here before I adhere anything else down. So I've got my fox adhered to my circle, and I'm going to use snail on the back of the circle. Remember, you probably want to use a little bit of extra adhesive when you're adhering something that is embossed like this. Now I can go ahead and remove this bottom dimensional here. I'll place this on my tag. And this little speech bubble is just going to go right up there. And I'm going to use some dimensionals on that as well. So I'm using my crocodile and I'm using the smaller hole punch. I'm just going to punch a hole in the center top portion of my tag here. Okay. Then I'm going to take a little scrap of basic gray and do the same thing, just punch out a hole. Then I'm going to take the circle punch from the Itty Bitty Shapes punch pack and center that around the hole that I punched. Just to create a cute little reinforcer for my tag. And I'll line that up over top of the hole punch. And now I just need to tie some ribbon in the top of my tag. I'm using some Daffodil Delight seam binding ribbon, and you can see I cut it off at a pretty sharp angle to help me feed it through this small hole. I'm going to take some Pool Party Baker's twine. And I'm just going to tie this around the ribbon at the top of my card. So I'll just tie it in kind of a loose knot. And I can kind of push it down to where I want it. And I'll just tie this in a bow. And there's my finished tag. So I hope you enjoyed this project. It's a little bit different than just your standard card. Doing a larger scale tag like this can be a fun way to just do a card a little bit differently. It doesn't have to go on a gift or anything like that. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you again next week for another project from start to finish. Until then, happy stampin' and have a great week. Bye-bye.